And then after that, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to land on the planet, save, and stop here. But the next stream, we will definitely be done with Chapter 2.
We shall strike down all who stand in our way.
That is a lot of ships. Can we reach anything? Sure.
We have a destination to reach.
Unfortunately, we can't do this because we forgot to put J back. That's alright.
Unleash the power of our lance batteries.
Okay.
Bring doom to our enemies.
They're pretty tanky. We can get close, but it's probably not wise. So instead, we're gonna
Lock on and
do
lock.
this, and I assume they're gonna either attack the front or the side. I'd rather keep my sides safe. To minimize damage, we could maybe turn this ship around. Okay. They're mostly attacking the front. Nice. Torpedo could just nuke this one.
Deliver their demise. Unleash the power of our lance batteries.
Can't do much, can we?
Full ahead.
Well, we could reload.
Bring doom to our enemies.
Okay. We should definitely protect the front this time. And see which angle we can expose with this. That sucks. I have a better angle.
Deliver their demise. Send our enemies to the void.
Can we reload? No. And this torpedo should finish the job. Alright, easy. We're not done because the torpedo
We
is
have a destination to reach.
still roaming around, rather.
I have
Okay. Better targeting system, but what we have is better, I think. Granting 80% hit chance and 15% critical hit chance. What we have is 90% hit chance and 5% critical hit chance. So these might be better, actually. I could crit more often. I could try them. Okay. And with that, we need to repair and grab one of those upgrades. I think I'm gonna grab this one, so we don't no longer get a penalty. And then we could do this one later. All right. Okay. We will land, level up, or save, then level up, and save again, in case this planet proves to be too difficult and we need to change a few talents or something. Okay, that was a bad puff. Heinrich frowns as his eyes sweep over the Manufactorum dark halls. No solemn ceremony, no personal meeting with Magi. I fear we are too late. We won't be dealing with clandestine heretics after all. Benheric areas of alarm stream out of Pascal's Vox synthesizer and their neurotic broken rhythm. You sense a call to arms and a warning of danger. Okay. Remind me, what is your mission on Kiavagama? I assumed I would conduct an investigation and track down traces of the cult of the Final Dawn. I believe I can discard that plan now. Both the incident with the scrap code and the manner in which we were forced to land on Kiavagama indicate that the situation has taken a turn for the worse. Nevertheless, I must use this opportunity to determine what the cult was doing here on an industrial world, and what specifically interested them on a planet full of sacred machines and the servants of the Messiah. First, we must find someone who can tell us what's been going on here. If that is, there is anyone left here to speak. Okay. The interrogator nods. Okay, let's do the double save. One time before we level, and one time after we level.
We are bound by the blood of masses.
After toughness and willpower, we want strength. And then as for this, we will go with more... Jesus. Coercion, I guess. Carouse. Or just Medicaid. Yeah, I think I'll just do Medicaid. Athletics is locked, so why do I have plus 20? Hmm. I think I'll just do more Medicae on him. But later I need to optimize my group better for skill checks. So we'll do that later. Perception. Right now he is the Xenos guy. But I think Heinrichs would be better for that. So right now let's just bump it up and then optimize later. Perception. Awareness. After willpower and fellowship with her, you want to do perception, because she has stuff that scales with it. After persuasion, she can do Imperium for me. After, with him, we're building him more of a sniper also, so we'll do that. Commerce is maxed, so we could do something, it doesn't really matter. Okay. Alright. I'm just gonna make a quick phone call. If it is confirmed that I have to go. Okay, once again we are back. We got some food in our system. A fresh cup of coffee with a spoonful of honey, because that's how I like my coffee. And a bit of milk. So I guess it's a latte? I don't know. And we are ready to knock out this planet. We have about an hour, 30 minutes. So let's see what we can do. This doesn't really matter to what we're doing, but since I got this hood, I think I should try to match this shit, right? Like so. And I gotta take off the armor and put it back on, or how does it work? Anyway, doesn't matter.
Divine watches over us. This explorator is blessed with broken functionality.
Okay. Corrupted servitors. The servitor before you appears as if they are performing some elaborate and confusing dance, striking strange poses. They rock back and forth with their arms bent at a peculiar angle. Upon your approach, one of the servitors jerks and tries to turn in your direction. The rest immediately repeat the motion. The strange scene is complemented by a grating sound, dull clicks just at the edge of your hearing, coming from an unknown source. Hello, can you hear me? The closest servitor twitches and others follow suit. It is clear that the entire group is connected by a single machine spirit and something caused it to stop working. One of the servitors must have a fault in its cogitator or some other augment, and that fault then ended up affecting the whole group. The servitor hands moves, it's slowly reaching toward you. You could avoid its touch, strike the hand. Better chances of avoiding its touch. Gently and swiftly step away from the servitor. It stretches out its hand as if it's trying to blindly touch you in the space that you have already left. And still, once more, it seems, its brain is incapable of quickly processing changes in its surroundings. Okay. Find the malfunction, augment, and disable it. You carefully examine the servitor until you eventually spot the cover on its chest. After unscrewing and removing the plate, you discover the wires for the failed augmetic parts and cut them. As if one cue, the servitors stop moving, lower their arms, and turn to you. Crew 24, second lane of the Manufactorum, commencing work. State your request. Deactivate your service is done. Okay. Alright.
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
Before you is an ancient but wholly typical console, intended for use by people not trained in the mysteries of ministering to machine spirits. The cogitator is completely silent, but as you approach, you sense the warmth emanating from its metallic casing, a telltale sign that the machine is working. You discover the local data crypt was contents collected by either previous operators or the machine spirit itself. Using your access, you study the archives stored in the cogitator. The vast data repositories contain millions of strings related to receiving raw materials for processing, shipping processed metals, and schedules for sacred rituals to be performed over the machines coming off the production line. The Manufactorum once operated like one gargantuan, well-oiled mechanism. The last record is from 2 months ago. Okay, step away. Anything there? This seems to be the same thing.
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
Your mind is swathed in blue-grey smoke, Master Van Calox. A heavy color for heavy thoughts, I presume?
You are a dangerous person, Lady Orselio. Well, all navigators are, but your abilities place you in a special category.
Okay, I thought it was a key, some lore stuff.
Know your duty.
The lumps protruding under the tech priest's bedraggled red robe hint that the mechanisms implanted in his body. You see his haggard and sickly face under the archaic respirator, augmetic, a click, clank, and a barely audible hiss. And only then the tech priest's vox finishes the word identification. Request denied. Pascal turns to you, his visor gleaming crimson, registering anomalous behavior within the servant's organics and an invalid noosphere. The response: this unit is compromised. Okay, we can examine the priest. You carefully study a robe-clad figure. A black border of necrosis spreads out from around the tech priest's implants. For some reason, his body is rejecting the true flesh. A moment later, you recognize the dominant smell in the bouquet of scents permeating the air around the tech priest, the stench of rotten meat. Okay. Is that the way to greet the master of the world? Tech priest pauses as his external cogitator were processing the information. Finally, the malfunctioning vox produces a cracked voice. Irregularity, execution of the fabricator sensor approved, protocol 3942 recommended, whatever that is. What is happening on this planet? Why is the governor not responding? Where is the fabricator sensor? I will only speak to with the person in charge of this manufactorum. Let's be a Karen for a sec. Denied. The irregularity demands execution of Protocol 3942 in accordance with the fabricator sensor's decree. We can insist on being a Karen. Let's see what that does. Anticipated process disrupted. Execution of disposal protocol recommended. The tech priest draws his weapon, and as his robe opens, your senses are hit by a fetid wave of rot. Ooh.
You dare cross an agent of the throne? I'll turn you into corpse starch.
Corpse starch. We have the Cockney accent in it. Alright. Obviously I'd like to tackle them first. But let's see who rolled. Argenta, Pascal. Alright, well, I think the best and smartest thing to do is to use Argenta to kill this fella. And once again, for some reason, I cannot do this. Then I shall do the other buffs.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Ow. Oof.
Throne take you.
Jesus. Alright. Obviously, we're not gonna kill it
I'll do it.
with one turn.
As the Emperor commands, I act. This is why I was chosen.
Buff the next shot, and hopefully we kill it. Now, since these are mechanicals, we could do some work. Or we could even... Yeah, okay. Let's just finish this guy off. Master spell. Or, sorry. Debuff. And then, unfortunately, the officers act much later. Okay.
Rejoice in service.
I'd like to somehow
My armor is contempt.
position myself in a way where if I burn them, I don't hit my fellow friends. So,
I won't suffer this.
are they on fire? None of them are. Okay, well,
And so shall it be done.
But of course, Lord Captain. I won't object to it.
well, we can only get 3 of them, so.
For the throne's glory.
Alright.
Let's see to it.
Could also do an AoE attack.
Inquisition sends their regards.
Alright, do this. You still can't reach him.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. this a job for the serfs?
Alright, time to do a cleanup.
In the name of House Orselio, I shall prevail.
It's gonna hit a lot of my friends. But what about, like, right here? It's good.
Your end is nigh.
We burn ourselves,
Its service.
and then we start AoE.
The Emperor gives me the warning to all who oppose us.
Oh, they explode.
Death will be our ultimate victory.
Holy fucking fuck. Alright, well,
Myself to do this.
this is only the beginning.
I am the chosen weapon that will crush the heathens.
Can't get a decent angle.
Emperor, give me strength.
Okay. Then we go again, because we used an ult, right? So,
If you insist, Lord Captain.
just do what we do.
If I may,
Who acts next?
if only that were possible. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Keep fighting.
Fuck me.
I will not. God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart. As the Emperor commands, I act. Eradicated.
We definitely could have done this better. If only I had access to the medkits that remove traumas.
Let
Right
the
now we have
faith
to
guide
push
my path to glory.
with these traumas anyway. And something tells me we can do it.
We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
Okay.
No suffering will make me
At least we
forget.
can make the
I'm
injury go away.
grateful.
But other than that, he has one fresh injury, old injury, and yeah, that's it. The medkit
Let's walk this path to the end.
or medkit that removes traumas can only be accessed through a project in the dynasty, and I am missing one thing to get it. And that thing,
We shall reclaim what
I've
is
kind of
rightfully
explored
ours.
everything in the game right now. All the solar system is available in chapter 2, and it's just not there, so. I'd still like to see. What is that hissing? Okay.
Pay attention.
Oh fuck. Should probably quick save in case this fails. We don't need any more traumas
Duty prevails.
due to stupid
The
mistakes.
divine watches over us.
The only thing I hate about this trauma is, like, I know I can pull off the combat, but the skill checks are going to be even harder to do, is the thing.
Let the faith guide my path to glory.
If there was someone here, it's a good place to hide or set up another ambush. How could I pass this? I don't think it's wise to take the entire party along,
Join me in prayer.
so
What deeds await us?
we'll just...
Pain
Oof.
cleanses the body.
Oh god. The fuck? So, should have gone this way, I guess. If I move, I'm gonna take damage again. Okay. Can we somehow shut this off?
Onward.
Excuse me? Alright, I'm sorry. My carry cannot take traumas. We need to keep her safe and the main character safe if we want to pull off the rough encounters. Let's just hope to God she notices the trap. It is an awareness check, and she is the companion that's supposed to be the most aware. For crying out loud, what the fuck? Yo, just you.
A child was saved from death. 1,000 heretics were burning alive, begging and sobbing and howling.
Jesus. Okay.
See? Right there.
Thank God. Good job. Okay.
I better myself through my service. The light of terror shines for us.
Lex Mechanic. Let's loot first. Okay. That's not you. That's Pascal. So if I talk to him. A small, heavily augmented man in a filthy, tattered robe stands before you as you approach. The hesitantly looks up to you, his eyes filled with horror. A portable inscriber with a keyboard hangs from straps at his front, and you can see his detached, cerebral cogitator peeking out from under his hood. You have nothing to fear from us. Deus Mechanicus, the tech priest, decides to take a better look at you, after which he lets out a ragged breath and manages to subdue his shaking. He heard my prayers. I thought I was alone in the kingdom of madness and depravity. Please save me. Tell us, from all the way over there, who you are and what happened to you. I am Manufactorum Lex Mechanic Zeta 86. I performed the rituals for the machine spirits of Foundry 95. Up until we started going mad, priests devoted to the Omnissiah suddenly started praising the dawn of something or other. They stopped the belts, and then they desecrated the visages of the sacred machines with unholy symbols. Some of them resisted. The others grabbed them, tied them up, and then they turned their implants to heresy. I saw the madmen, my former tech comrades, deliberately connect those poor souls to corrupted cogitators. I watched as they were infected with the scrap code, and did nothing to stop them. I am recording a violation of the commandment of thine own forge be a true sentinel. Apostate Zeta 86, your access are hereby revoked. Proceed with your report. Why so mean, Pascal? How did you manage to avoid the same fate? How did your crazed comrades behave? Well, it's kind of evident, right? All around us. You mentioned someone imprisoned on the lower levels. Let's ask him how he managed to survive. I didn't avoid it. They performed the same procedure on me. I felt the touch of unholy code. I allowed it to control me. I abandoned my sacred post and followed one of the traitors, serving his will and gathering all the data for his blasphemous experiments. I was driven by an unholy impulse coming from the depths of my auxiliary cogitator, where the code had lodged itself. Before I found a way to throw off the compulsion, I witnessed horrifying heresy, the extraction of true flesh, and its decomposition on altars. Perverse procedures that resulted in heretical... how do you say this? Heretical abominations. I even accompanied the fallen magus to the fabricator censor himself and attended the unholy mass he led personally. It was a wicked ritual full of willful deviations and blatant inaccuracies, all to create an ungodly monster in the name of the final dawn. You don't act like the other priests who are infected with the corruption. You mentioned a monster that is some kind of a weapon. No, no, not those constructs that are melted down in the furnaces and sent into the depths of the manufactorum. It is some kind of semblance of a cogitator, a nightmarish parody of a sacred machine, powered not by the Omnissiah's grace, but by the unholy spirit and life force of the unfortunates imprisoned on the lower levels. I don't know much, except that the fabricator sensor saw that machine as special. It was special to him and to the crazies who defiled the Omnissiah's abode with their obscene blasphemy. For the final ritual, he even called upon one of the Astartes heretics who arrived at the manufactorum after the start of the uprisings. He did something terrible, and only after that were they able to switch the machine on. It is a true abomination. Even standing near it is unbearable. I believe that even those who have deprived the Omnissiah's grace still feel its influence on them, its monstrous power utilized for unholy computations and chaotic calculations. Whatever the cogitator might spew out at the end of the cycle, no righteous soul should accept this heinous offering. Okay. You don't act like them. The Lex mechanic gestures at the wires and connectors spilling out from under his hood. Praise the gifts of the Omnissiah, I managed to disconnect my external cogitator, which I use to primary data processing. The machine is corrupted. The scrap code is locked inside it, like a beast in a cage, but anyone who tries to look inside will fall victim to the heretical program. My primitive brain has been marked by corruption. I still see their silhouettes, hear their interference. I sense the malfunctions in my augments. But I was still saved from the great sacrifice. Oh, blessed are the workings of the Omnissiah and his benediction that shelters the weak from evil. Heinrich tenses ever so slightly at the Lex Mechanic's words. You see his hand casually stray to the handle of his weapon, but the interrogator is in no hurry to act. You mentioned someone imprisoned on the lower levels. The lay servants of the main units, they live in isolated segments under the sacred machine halls. I heard they were locked in there after the takeover. Then my crazed brethren changed the system for disposing a slag waste and covered the machines in cursed symbols. After they started the cogitator, they dragged the servitors or survivors out of the segments under the machine's halls. Well, what the survivors had turned into, you demonstrate exceptional powers of observation in the crawl for someone who just happened to survive. I am a Lex mechanic. Gathering data is the purpose of my existence. That's even what they used me for. They used me against my will. The scrap code turns everyone into their slave. Before I rid myself of the cogitator, I was forced to serve alongside those who perpetrated these atrocities and witnessed their obscenities. Turned to Heinrichs, what do you make of this? Servant of the Omnissiah, I must know more about the final dawn, the fabricator sensor, his mass, and about this machine as well. I could give you the coordinates, but the Lex mechanic drops his head. Even though I was present for many blasphemies committed by those heretics, all the details that were captured and processed by my true flesh are in the Dogmatic that was corrupted by the scrap code. I am convinced that if I hadn't fought off that foreign compulsion in time, I would have been doomed. The corruption would have spread to my biological cogitator as well. I swear that no devout tech priest should come into contact with what's hidden in that once sacred device. Heinrich's expression shifts as he stares intently at the disconnected implant and the still intact connectors protruding from under the Lex mechanic's collar. The corner of his mouth twitches involuntarily. Jesus, this guy just wants to kill him immediately. Can the cogitator be disconnected and reconnected to another machine? Even if the very idea of exposing a holy machine to the scrap code wasn't profane in itself, My augmetics are not universally compatible. They cannot be connected to another machine spirit. They were created to interact within the system of my true flesh, to innervate my compulsor unit and output data via the inscriber. Once I am safe, I swear I will immediately perform a cleansing rite and destroy it. In other words, there is only one way to extract the data stored in the cogitator. Heinrichs, no, don't do it. What are you talking about? If we connect the cogitator to the augmetic system, the Lex Mechanic will serve as a conduit for transmitting the data. We will learn the details, even if they are incomplete, of the things he saw and heard, but is now unable to recall. No, anything but that. I'll die. No, it'll be worse than that. I'll succumb to the corruption. I'm begging you, please. I'd rather be burned as a heretic than have the scrap code in my biological cogitator. At these words, Heinrich pauses for a fraction of a second, almost as if he is reconsidering. In failing to offer any resistance against the enemies of the Omnissiah, Unit Zeta 86 lost the grace of his machine rank and was recategorized as a resource of the Manufactorum. The defilement and torment of said resource, if committed to advance the struggle against heresy, I will not be deemed an apostasy or malefaction against a living soul. Upon expiry of the unit's utility, disposal is recommended. Okay, we have a dogmatic option that I'm afraid I'm gonna not like, but we have to take. So, we cannot allow the information to go to waste. One life is a small price to pay for the good of the Imperium. Alright. For the good of the Imperium. Like a snake, Heinrichs lunges at the Lex Mechanic, whose mouth opens in the beginning of a squeal. Oh, we're not gonna see it? Damn. I should have repositioned the entire party. Oh. Look at his marks. Someone was dragged. No, someone walked. Okay. Pinning the babbling Lex Mechanic, Heinrichs uses his free hand to feel for the connectors of the external cogitator, and then for the socket at the back of his captive's neck. The Lex Mechanic struggles a few times, but when Heinrichs twists the reel on the cogitator's hanging wires, the Lex Mechanic lets out a chilling howl and arches his back sharply. His hands twitch and leap to the inscriber and begin typing furiously, pounding on the keys with huge force. Cassia, who has been stoically observing everything, flinches and averts her gaze, with the Lex Mechanic starts crushing his own fingers into a pulp. The scroll that creeps out of the inscriber's printer continues to grow undulating in waves of parchment that settle on the floor. The crunch of breaking bones can scarcely be heard over the hammering of the keys. After several minutes, the Lex Mechanic's fingers are well and truly crushed and blood is spattered over the inscriber. Jesus Christ. But that does not stop him from trying in vain to press the keys without the scraps of bones and skin that remain. Heinrichs tears off the parchment and skims his eyes over it, sometimes frowning and looking away as though his eyes are paining them. It will take time to study this in full, but at first glance, the data from the Lex Mechanic's cogitator suggests something of the nature of the cult's major preparations. Refitting the Manufactorum, accumulating resources, mentions of focus points. These are preparations for a large-scale chaos ritual. It appears the local cogitator, whatever that may be, in actuality, is one of the key points in this list. We can learn more if we find that the construct that was created on the fabricator sensor orders. The coordinates are here. It is located here in the bowels of the Manufactorum. Heinrichs casts a final look at the Lex Mechanic, now locked forever in a cycle of mindless motion, and turns away. We had better hurry. Okay. I'd like to get the rest of the squad over. Okay. Whatever that was.
Litany of reconnaissance recited.
Oh. Get him first to loot this. Please don't fail it. In case you... Okay, thank. The wearer has 10 ballistic and crit damage. Wow. Yeah, okay. Let's give it to her. Then nothing else here is amazing, so...
Always.
Do I have to... Anything else here? Or can I safely just move back? What's there?
We have no time to lose.
Oh. Okay, we can go to the beginning. Right. So please don't fail it.
What a
The
shame.
crippled in body than corrupt in mind.
Athletics failed. And he has a crippled leg. A bunch of other stuff. Let's go one more time.
The Inquisition taught me many things.
Good.
We are
Okay.
bound by the blood of martyrs.
Cast your eye there.
Oh. Lore stuff.